is going to be another video where I talk at you a lot. I hope you don't mind. But I just wanted to talk about some things that I've been thinking about with my work and stuff. So I'm just going to ramble. But part of my reason for making videos over these last few years has been to become more comfortable sharing my process and also practice expressing my motivation for creating some of the pieces that I make, and also just to practice vulnerability and speaking. My speaking skills are definitely lacking, and I struggle to put words to thoughts a lot of the time. It's much easier to read someone else's, and I think that's also why I am really drawn to poetry, at least lately. I think that poetry and visual arts go hand in hand. You can really say a lot with very little when it comes to poetry and visuals, and that is just something that I really appreciate and have been incorporating into my work more. The series that I completed in March, The Thing with Feathers, was inspired by one of my favourite Emily Dickinson poems, Hope, and lately I've been finding myself drawn to an old favourite by Mary Oliver. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her work, and the poem is called The Journey, which I might read if you don't mind. Let's see if I can find it. So, The Journey by Mary Oliver. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. And yeah, for the last few months I've just been coming back to this poem, and I'm just gonna move this again. And on top of that, one of my favourite YouTube channels at the moment is by Emmy Deurzen, who is an existential therapist and artist too, I believe, who shares like little snippets of wisdom on here throughout the week. And I've been following her work for a while and her lectures, and I just really cherish her insight. So I'm probably going to share a couple of her videos in the description, at least the ones that I'm going to reference, because she recently shared a video about the journey and how it's not so much a marathon or a sprint, but like a hike where you have to pace yourself for an up and down adventure. And this reminded me of an earlier video that she had posted about inner strength, and to me, in my mind, it just kind of clicked with the video about the journey and then the poem by Mary Oliver, and it kind of just felt like synchronicity to me in my mind, but I won't get too woo-woo. Anyway, she mentioned how we are to sort of collect and harvest all of our good experiences in order to help us process the bad ones until they too become constructive, and in this way we build a sense of inner strength. I think it's really easy for those of us who maybe worry too much or just think of all the worst possible outcomes for any situation, which I am very guilty of doing a lot of the time. But it's easy for us to kind of lose sight of the big picture and forget why we care about the things that matter to us, forget why our dreams exist in the first place, and also just forget that progress isn't really noticeable to us all of the time. And all of this is to say that I think that my work is just speaking to maybe discovering a sense of self and strength, and about that pull within that guides us that we don't notice, and that maybe once in a while it is good to stop and notice how far we've come and how magical it is to think about how much further we can go if we choose to, and despite all of the hard stuff. And yeah, I hope that makes sense. But that also kind of brings me to some good news that I really wanted to share on here, and that is that I've been accepted for my first artist residency in Finland, and it will be throughout the month of January. And doing an artist residency has been like a really kind of back of my mind goal for a while, but this year I have been really working on getting to a point where I feel like it's something that I can do, especially with like my anxiety and stuff. I feel like I'm really at a point where I can grow and want to grow. And with this artist residency in particular, it's set in like a nature reserve, and it's away from technology, and 2 days out of the week you have to practice silence, and there's meditation in the mornings, and it's a really introspective type of residency with other artists as well. So it's an opportunity to get feedback on my work and listen to others and what they are working on, and it's just something that I'm really excited about, and has really kind of reinstated this, like I said, it just kind of feels like synchronicity for me at the moment, and I'm just grateful, and yeah, not making a lot of sense right now, but yeah, I know I've talked a lot in this video. I promise I will be quiet in the next one, and yeah, that's all I have to share. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I'm sure I will be talking about something again soon.